I've already told you why you've been pulled over, okay?
Okay, give me the ticket.
Okay, I can't even confirm who you are right now.
I just told you I can give you my name.
Don't
Stop
touch
it.
my hand.
Stop it. Stop. Stop.
Come here.
Stop.
Put your hands behind your back.
No.
Put your hands behind your back.
You don't make no goddamn sense.
On a scorching May afternoon, officers initiated what should have been a routine traffic stop. Within minutes, it spiraled into a scene so volatile that even the most seasoned patrol unit had to pause. What began with loud music and tinted windows would end with a woman in tears and a department scrambling to justify their use of force. May 4th, 2023, Orlando, Florida. Patrol Officer Lee was on his third loop around Carver Middle School when he spotted something off. A gray Jeep Wrangler, beat up, with a rear tag that didn't register in the system. But that wasn't the only problem. In the back seat, a teenage boy. No seatbelt, slouched low, legs up on the dashboard, earbuds in. The officer flipped a U-turn, quietly signaled dispatch. Tag doesn't match, possible fake plate, occupied ×2. He lit up the siren. The Jeep didn't pull over. Not immediately. It cruised another 300 feet, then stopped awkwardly near a tree-lined section of Winston Road. Plenty of shade, minimal traffic, no cameras nearby. Or so the driver probably thought. "Ma'am, can you roll your window down?" A woman leaned back in the seat, arms crossed. Music still thumping from the dashboard, rap vocals muffled beneath the glass. She shook her head. "I don't have to roll anything down. I haven't done anything." Officer Lee kept calm. "Your rear passenger doesn't have a seatbelt, and the tag comes back unassigned." The woman slowly cracked the window, half an inch, no more. Her tone sharpened. "I'm almost home. This is harassment. I'm a Marine Corps wife. I know my rights." Lee asked for ID, insurance, registration. She responded with none of them. "I lost my license 2 days ago." "From what state?" "I'm not answering that." "Ma'am, I need your name." "I'll give it to you when I feel safe." Lee radioed for backup. Another officer, Jenkins, pulled up within 2 minutes. They asked again and again. She turned the music up. "Ma'am, you are not in charge of this stop. We're asking legally." "I do get to decide. I don't feel safe. You don't get to intimidate me in front of my kids." In the passenger mirror, Lee saw movement. A second minor, much younger, trying to duck out of sight. That's when Jenkins whispered, "We might have more kids in there, possibly 3. Lee nodded. He turned back to the woman. "Ma'am, please step out of the vehicle. This is your last warning." She reached down, hand under the seat. That's when things got loud, fast. Lee yanked the door open. She screamed, "You can't touch me!" She kicked forward, hitting Jenkins in the shin. Within seconds, both officers were grappling with her arms as she thrashed in the seat. The children in the back began crying. A third unit arrived. Officer Morales, female officer, stepped in. "Ma'am, we're going to help you out of the vehicle." The woman shouted, "This is kidnapping! I'm filing federal charges!" But the officers had enough. She was pulled out, barefoot, the hem of her sundress dragging across the asphalt. Morales tried to keep her covered. The woman twisted violently. That's when she screamed, "I have a right to travel! I have a right to privacy! I am not property of the state!" Neighbors had started filming. Officer Jenkins leaned in. "We've got a sovereign citizen." Officer Lee muttered, "And kids in the back seat who have to see all of this." As officers cuffed her on the ground, one child blurted out something no one expected. A name. Not hers, not anyone on the vehicle's record. A name that would send this case in a whole new direction. Officer Lee was calm but firm. "Ma'am, I need your name, full legal name and date of birth." The woman took a breath, then exhaled sharply. Keisha Hawkins, Kesha, born February 4th, 1992. The moment she said it, Officer Lee looked back toward his patrol car. There was a flicker of confusion. He repeated the name into his radio. Dispatch responded almost instantly. Officer Lee, repeat that name? Hawkins, Keisha Hawkins, February 4th, 92. A pause. Then, there's no record. Nothing in-state, nothing out-of-state either. Lee frowned. Keisha, you sure that's your legal name? I've had that name my whole damn life, she snapped. Why? 'Cause I'm not in some government database that make me fake? At that moment, Officer Ramirez arrived, a seasoned veteran, calm and calculating. He peered into the window and nodded slightly. We got a ghost ID situation? He asked. Seems like it, he murmured. Keisha started to grow more defensive. I'm not a criminal. I don't need to be in your system just to be a person. My husband's a retired Marine. Go ask him. But that was when another problem emerged. Officer Ramirez checked the temporary license plate taped inside the rear windshield. It was handmade, crooked. The letters didn't match any legal font. And the expiration date? February 31st. There's no February 31st, he muttered. That's not a valid tag, Lee confirmed. Ramirez leaned in again. Ma'am, where'd you get that license plate? She looked him dead in the eye. Common law court. I'm a sovereign citizen. That's my personal tag. The two officers exchanged glances. There it was. The twist no one wanted to hear. Sovereign citizen. That meant any stop could go from civil to violent in seconds. Ramirez stepped back. Okay, I want you to stay calm. We're not here to violate your rights, but you're operating on a public road with a vehicle that's improperly registered, and you're transporting minors unrestrained. That last line seemed to sting. Kesha glanced in the rearview mirror at her sons. I told you I lost my ID. I told you I don't feel safe. Lee spoke gently now. Nobody's hurting you. We just need you to cooperate. Let's get this figured out. Then Kesha did something they didn't expect. She killed the engine. A good sign. Until she reached down and grabbed her phone. I'm calling my husband. He'll explain this. Lee shook his head. Ma'am, if you reach for anything without letting us know, we're going to take that as non-compliance. Hands where we can see them. But she was already dialing. Ramirez stepped closer. Ma'am. The door clicked. She was unlocking it, but not to get out, to prove a point. She cracked it open just enough to speak. Her eyes burned with tears. I've been harassed before. I've had cops scream in my face in front of my kids. So if you're going to arrest me, just say it, but don't tell me to act like it's normal. Officer Lee knelt beside the door. We're not here to humiliate you, but you're refusing to identify yourself, operating with fake plates, and there's no record of you in any system. That's a felony under Florida law. Then the second twist hit. A voice on the phone, presumably her husband, screamed through the speaker. Put me on speaker, Keisha. She did. I told her not to take that Jeep. I told her it wasn't registered yet. Ramirez's eyes widened. Lee didn't say anything, but the air shifted. Keisha blinked. You said it was good to go. No, I said I was going to fix it tomorrow. You don't listen. Suddenly, her defiance drained. She slumped back, her kids in the back seat, silent. That was the moment the narrative cracked. Lee took the opportunity. Ma'am, we can work through this, but not from inside that car. For the first time, she nodded. Slowly, she opened the door, and then slammed it shut again. No, I changed my mind. The tension snapped right back. What's going on? Ramirez asked. Keisha's voice trembled. I saw you reach for your taser. I didn't reach for anything. You moved. Ma'am. No. I saw it. You were going to tase me in front of my boys. Lee stepped back. Get a female officer here. Now. Ramirez keyed his radio. Unit requesting female backup. Possible extraction. High risk. Then came a chilling moment. Keisha put her hands on the wheel and screamed, "If you yank me out this car, I swear to God I'll fight you with everything I got." Officer Lee didn't flinch. He'd seen this dance before, the trembling fingers gripping the steering wheel, the wide eyes darting between side mirrors, the breath getting shallow. It was the moment right before reason gave way to fight or flight. Ramirez stood behind the passenger window now, calmly watching for any sudden motion. Then, "Get back!" Kesha shouted. "I got kids in here." "We see them, ma'am," Lee said, voice calm. "And we're trying to avoid making this traumatic for them, but you have to get out of the car." Kesha's response? She kicked the inside of her door, hard, once, then twice. From the back seat, her youngest, maybe 7 or 8, let out a startled yelp. Ramirez moved fast. He reached for the handle and found it locked again. "Kesha, unlock the door. Now." But she didn't. Instead, she threw her phone to the floor, grabbed the center console with both hands, and began rocking in her seat. "Y'all want me to come out? Come get me." Backup arrived. A female officer, mid-30s, blonde, with that no-nonsense posture that said she'd dealt with worse before breakfast. Her name was Sergeant Myers. Lee briefed her in 3 lines. Sovereign citizen, non-compliant, minors in back. Sergeant Myers walked straight up to the driver's side window, knocked twice, then leaned in and spoke softly, so softly that even the Bodycam barely picked it up. "Keisha, I'm not here to be another badge in your trauma." That sentence changed everything. For 2 seconds. Keisha looked up, her eyes rimmed red. There was confusion there, even a flicker of hope. But when Myers gently opened the door, just enough to make eye contact, Keisha snapped back into fight mode. "You can't just open my vehicle!" And with that, she swung, a closed fist jab toward Myers' shoulder. The punch didn't land clean, but it was enough. Lee moved in. Ramirez rounded the back. Myers ducked low and grabbed Keisha's wrist. What followed was chaos compressed into 30 seconds. Keisha screaming, "Don't touch me!" her legs kicking toward the brake pedal and gear shift. The children crying, begging, "Mommy, stop, please!" Lee reached through the open door, secured one arm. Myers got the other. They pulled. Keisha resisted with every fiber of her being, clinging to the seatbelt, the console, the edge of the steering wheel. But gravity and 3 trained officers won. She was on the pavement, hands behind her back, knees scraped, dress twisted. The screams didn't stop. "You're hurting me! You're humiliating me in front of my sons!" Sergeant Myers kept her voice low. "You need to stop fighting, or someone's going to get hurt, including you." Once cuffed, Keisha was brought to her knees beside the vehicle. The kids were still in the back seat, sobbing, unsure whether to open the doors or stay frozen. That's when Lee noticed something. A folder wedged beneath the front passenger seat. He reached in, slid it out, and opened it. Inside were 2 IDs. One was the temporary universal travel credential Keisha had mentioned earlier. Totally unofficial, totally useless. But the other, a real state-issued Florida ID. Name, Sharon Peterson. Date of birth, February 4th, 1982. Lee stared at it. Ramirez walked over. "What is it?" "She lied," Lee muttered. "Her name's not Keisha." Back in the cruiser, Lee looked over his shoulder at the cuffed woman in the back seat. "Who's Sharon Peterson?" Silence. "You gave us the wrong name. That's a felony, Sharon." Still, no response.
Ramirez leaned in. What else is she hiding? Sergeant Myers wasn't convinced either. And that's when they ran her real ID through dispatch. Match found. Sharon Peterson, age 42. License revoked due to DUI. Outstanding warrants 1. Failure to appear.
They finally called the man she claimed was her husband, the same one from the speakerphone outburst. He arrived 15 minutes later in an old white pickup, Marine sticker on the back window. He was calm, but distant. "My kids okay?" he asked. "They're fine, but who exactly is she to you?" He looked toward the cruiser, then shrugged. "She's not my wife." "What?" "She used to be. We split 2 years ago, but she never stopped showing up." Lee looked baffled. "But the kids?" "2 of them are mine," the man said. "The others, I don't know, maybe cousins, maybe friends of friends. She picks them up sometimes from school like they're hers." The officers exchanged a look. A social worker from CPS was already on the way to evaluate the situation when Myers returned to search the car more thoroughly. In the glove compartment, she found a thick envelope marked Family Court, Urgent. Inside, a court order. Full custody of 2 minors awarded to Sharon's sister, not Sharon. Order issued 6 months ago. Sharon had ignored it. And now she was driving around, ID-less, suspended license, in a car with fake tags, carrying 2 kids she wasn't even legally allowed to have. The arrest report ballooned into multiple charges: resisting arrest with violence, battery on a law enforcement officer, child endangerment, providing false identification, driving with a suspended license, violation of court custody order. The children were taken into protective custody. Officers made sure they were comforted, fed, and placed in a safe holding environment until social services could step in. As for Sharon, formerly Keisha, she finally broke her silence in the back of the squad car. "I didn't mean to hurt nobody, but I can't lose them. I already lost everything else." At the station, she was processed without further incident. The footage of the traffic stop, bodycam and dashcam, would later be used as evidence. But it would also be used for training. Because in under 15 minutes, a simple seatbelt violation had spiraled into a full-scale felony investigation. And all it took was one lie, one wrong name, one refusal to cooperate. Because sometimes, it's not what you say that gets you in trouble. It's what you hide. If this story stunned you, make sure to hit subscribe. Bodycam Chronicles brings you real, raw police encounters that reveal more than just crime. They reveal truth. New episodes every week. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was justice served? Or was this just another tragedy in uniform?